Hey, what to do, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are having a good day. I just got back from work. I'm just trying to wrap up a couple things before I head inside for the night. But today's video, by popular demand, and when I say popular, I mean probably like 10 to 15 people suggested that I do some fabricating in my shop. And when I say fabricating, I use that term very loosely. A lot of this stuff was like super redneck engineering. It was just like put the piece in place, mark it, cut it. Not a whole lot of measure going on. Nothing's very uniform. But overall, I think they turned out super cool. I built these massive sprinkler stands and sprinklers that are actually taller than I am. I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys a quick sneak peek. Here they are. I come up to about here on them, so they are significantly taller than I am. Before we get too far in this video, there's two things I gotta take care of. The first one, which is the most important, my cows are out right now, so I gotta go take care of them. I guess the utility guys are out here working on the poles and they forgot to close one of the gates. So Bob and his two girlfriends are out roaming the property, so we gotta take care of them. And then the second thing that I wanna talk about, I wanna go ahead and show you guys a screenshot from my phone the other day. You see this right here? $243.01. That is a screenshot from an app that I use called Upside. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with what that is, I did a video on it probably like 3 or 4 videos back. There's a link down below with my referral code in it. Seriously love that app. If you guys haven't checked it out, it's definitely worth looking into. But I gotta get these cows put away, and I actually went grocery shopping in my Peterbilt today, so I gotta move the groceries from here into my pickup, get the cows put away. There may be some other random stuff in this video, but I hope you guys enjoy it. Let's go ahead and jump into it, and let's roll.
I came from the mud, there's dirt on my hands. Strong like a tree, there's roots where I stand. Oh, I've been running from the law. Hope they won't shoot me down soon. They sing on a sleepless night. Try to catch me howling at the moon.
So I just got done doing the live video a little bit ago, and I think as of right now, fabricating is taking the lead. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys my design that I have for these big water cannons, and we are going to put these away for another day. And then for this next part, we're gonna come over to the big beautiful whiteboard where I can draw my stuff out so you guys can see it.
When it rains, it pours. Water's up to my chin.
All right, you ready to see my work of art? So basically we got my big sprinkler up top. That's a very loose representation of it. And then we're gonna have a metal flange right here. It's gonna come down, and then I'm gonna have one of those quick disconnect couplers right here to where there's gonna be a rubber hose right here, so that way it's not putting a lot of stress on the PVC pipe that's running down here. To not draw that, but basically it's gonna be hard pipe coming up, then it's gonna convert to this guy right here. So it's gonna have a little bit of play. Those are a little bit flexible. Be 10,000 rotations of this thing. Eventually, if this was all solid pipe, that there would be like some stress fractures on the pipe down here where there's a T, and you might eventually like develop a leak right here or right here. So it'll kind of eliminate this a little bit. And then another big reason behind that is I want to be able to remove this so I can use it in other places. Because when I initially found these sprinklers, I was like, oh, these are super cool. I'm gonna pick up a couple more of them. Come to find out, these things are like in the thousands of dollars. They're crazy expensive. You should look up Nelson Big Gun sprinklers. Blew my mind how much these things cost. So anyhow, that's my design more or less. I'm gonna go ahead and get to it, and we're gonna start cutting and welding. Basically, this is gonna be my top plate. We're gonna go ahead and cut this thing in half, and I'm gonna cut 2 circles in it. So once the hole's cut in here, I'm gonna go ahead and slide this through, and I'm gonna weld this nipple to the plate. All right, got that. Go ahead and clamp ourselves a little guide. Okay, so you can see that we got our hole cut in here. I went ahead and dropped this nipple in. I'm gonna try and like get this as straight as I can, but after that I'm gonna go ahead and weld this up. All right, so we got plate number 1 with the nipple welded in. I went ahead and set it out here so it can kind of cool down a little bit. The last one I made the mistake of just taking this nipple, sticking it in there, squaring it up, and I started welding it. I'm not gonna make that same mistake on this one. I'm gonna go ahead and grind everything down, make it nice and clean so I can get a good weld. The last weld was like very mediocre. This one turned out a little bit better. Let's go ahead and bring this one out here. We'll set it down out next to where this one is. Pretty sure this one's probably cool enough to work with now. We'll go ahead and start building the legs for this guy. All right, so I'm running a little bit low on memory card space. I'm kind of having to pick and choose what I film. And basically this is the skeleton of it. We've got 4 legs built out of sucker rod. You guys can see that this one's kind of hanging up in no man's land. So this one I did not quite weld at the exact same angle. So I'm gonna go ahead and heat this up, bend this leg out a little bit. But it's really pretty close with like all legs being the same angle and the same height. So I'm just gonna go ahead and bend this little guy out and then I think we'll be okay. All right, so that's gonna be close enough for me. All right, so the next part of this thing, I basically need to reinforce this. And how I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna start with welding a piece of sucker rod right here. We're gonna weld it here, we're gonna bend it, weld it here, bend it, weld it here, bend it, weld it here. I don't know if it'll exactly be right here, it might be like halfway. Then we'll do another one down at the base. Basically, this is the last piece of the puzzle. This is gonna thread onto the PVC that goes in the ground. So this will be fixed, and then this hose is what's gonna attach to it and come up to the sprinkler. So I think I'm gonna wrap things up for tonight. I think I'm only gonna get one done, but I think this thing turned out pretty good for pretty much putting together like an old sprinkler. I think that thing's probably on the better side of like 30 years old. Built the frame out of basically old sucker rod. The only thing that I bought for this was these fittings, and then I have a box of PVC fittings over there to actually tie it into the system. All right, well, back at it this morning. Got an empty memory card, full battery, so we're good to go. I got about 1 hour before I got to take off, so I just wanted to show you guys something real quick. So this is the sprinkler that's going to be going on the tripod. This is the big gun. Literally says big gun. Fancy because you can set limits on it, so you can tell this thing when to stop and turn and go the other direction, whereas this one just does 360s endlessly. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the GoPro set up. You guys are gonna see my janky fabrication skills. I literally almost measured nothing on this thing. It was all like bend to fit. These do not need to be precise. I do think they turned out pretty cool, but I'm gonna go ahead and get to work. getting pretty close. Things are always easier with 2 people. This went way faster than it did last night. So anytime Mike comes over, always makes it a lot easier. But he's got to get going, so he's gonna hit the road. But thanks again, man. We'll see you later. But I think they turned out super cool, and it saved me a bunch of money because as soon as you put the word agricultural in front of something, it usually gets more expensive. So it saved me a bunch of money. I'm super happy with how they turned out. I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys these things one more time. These things are huge. The hood of my semi is like taller than I am, and these are like up here. I hope they're not too high. If you wanna save a couple bucks on gas, don't forget to click on the Upside link down below. Super rad app, but thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Later.